Okay, so are robots really gonna, like, take all our jobs? That's what everybody's worried about?
Yeah, seems to be the big fear, right?
Well, in this deep dive, we're gonna be looking at the automation revolution,
Okay.
but from a slightly different angle.
Interesting.
We're gonna be looking at why, like, the average economist, they just don't seem to get it.
Yeah, they're missing something.
Yeah. So are you ready to have your mind blown?
Absolutely. Always ready for that.
So our source for this deep dive is Kartik. He's a Silicon Valley entrepreneur,
Okay.
and his view is that automation can actually make you wealthy
Interesting.
if you know how to think like an entrepreneur.
Okay, I like that. I like that angle.
So the big question is, why are all those economists getting it so wrong?
Yeah, what are they missing?
What are they missing? Well, um, Kartik, he says they're obsessed with these charts.
Oh, yeah.
They're always showing jobs lost to automation,
Right. Doom and gloom.
but they're not looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's like they're missing the forest for the trees.
Yeah, he uses this example of like the U.S. unemployment rate being at a 50-year low pre-COVID.
Right.
It's like if automation was this job-killing monster,
Right.
wouldn't we see like the exact
Do
opposite?
you think so?
You would think so.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're just looking at this tiny little piece of the puzzle
Yeah.
and they're missing the entire picture.
They're missing the whole point. It's not just about jobs lost, it's about the wealth that's created.
Right. And also the jobs that are created.
Exactly.
Like how many of the jobs that we interact with every single day didn't even exist a few decades ago?
I mean, think about it.
Right.
App developers, social media managers, drone pilots, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's like they're stuck in the past
Mm-hmm.
trying to apply all these old economic models
Right.
to like this rapidly changing world.
Yeah, the world has changed and they haven't caught up.
Exactly. And this brings us to another major blind spot,
Okay.
the public sector.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, Kartik, he points out that when you look at these automation threat lists,
Yeah.
they almost always focus on private sector roles like telemarketers or accountants,
Right.
as if government jobs are immune.
Yeah, like somehow robots won't be doing those jobs.
Right.
Yeah. That's where they really miss the mark. I mean, AI doesn't discriminate between public and private sectors.
Right. It's going to go wherever it can.
Exactly. And in fact, you could argue that government bureaucracy with all its repetitive tasks and all the inefficiency
Oh, yeah.
might be even more vulnerable,
Right. It's like ripe for the picking.
right, for automation.
Wow. That's a really thought-provoking idea. Imagine a government that was powered by algorithms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would it be more efficient? Would it be less corrupt? Or would it create like a whole new set of problems?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, isn't it? What would that look like?
Yeah, and it's like the economists aren't even asking those questions.
They're not even considering it. They're so focused on these old models that they're just not thinking about what could happen.
Yeah, it's like they're missing out on all the possibilities.
Exactly. They're missing the whole point of AI and what it can do.
So if we're not supposed to be scared of automation, then how should we be thinking about it?
Oh, that's a great question, and that's what we're going to dig into next. Kartik says we should look at automation as like a huge opportunity,
Okay.
especially for entrepreneurs.
Interesting. So not a threat.
No, not at all. It's a chance to really do something different.
I like that. He actually says every job that gets automated means your employer is just like pocketing the money.
Yeah,
They would have gone to you
right.
as your salary.
It's about mindset, you see.
Okay, so how does this tie back to entrepreneurs then?
Well, think about it. By automating things, businesses can cut way down on labor costs, right?
Makes sense.
And that means their profits go way up.
Oh, yeah.
Kartik gives this example of these companies in Silicon Valley, they're making like $10 million in revenue.
Wow.
And they only have 3 employees.
Wait a minute. Only 3 employees, and they're pulling in that kind of cash.
That's the power of automation.
How would that even possible?
Oh, those 3 employees are probably the ones who set up all the systems in the first place, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're the ones managing the tech, making sure everything's running smoothly, and they're focused on like the big picture strategy.
So they're basically reaping all the rewards.
Yeah.
That's wild. Have you ever had a business idea that you wanted to get off the ground,
Of course, who hasn't?
but it just seemed like way too expensive?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where automation comes in. It can like really slash those costs and suddenly.
So like stuff that used to be impossible
Exactly.
could actually be doable now
Totally.
because of automation.
That's the point.
So what you're saying is these economists,
Yeah.
they're totally missing the boat here.
Big time. They're stuck in the old way of thinking, you know?
It's like they're looking backwards instead of forwards.
They're not seeing the potential, the opportunities that are right there in front of them.
Yeah, they're so busy counting the jobs that are being lost
Mm-hmm.
that they're not even paying attention to the wealth that's being created.
It's a whole new way of looking at things.
Yeah, it's like Kartik saying, don't be afraid of the robots.
Right.
Like, build a business.
Exactly. Use them to your advantage.
Use them to your advantage.
That's the key.
That's amazing. So instead of like clinging to the jobs of the past,
Yeah.
we should be like actively creating the jobs of the future.
Absolutely.
And to do that, you got to have that entrepreneurial mindset,
Mm.
seeing problems as opportunities,
Yeah.
embracing change, and like really leveraging technology to create value.
That's the heart of it.
Okay, so that all sounds super inspiring and exciting.
It is. It really
But
is.
for like the average person,
Yeah.
how do we even begin to make that shift?
From like fear to actually embracing it.
Yeah, how do we do that?
It's all about understanding that like the future isn't set in stone.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
we're building it right now and we all have a part to play in that.
So it's not like this inevitable thing.
No, not at all. It's about choices.
Okay, so instead of being afraid of automation,
Yeah,
we should be asking ourselves,
exactly.
like, how can we use it to, like, solve problems, create value, build a better future?
You got it.
So these economists who are freaking out about the robots taking all the jobs,
Yeah.
they're kind of missing the point then.
They're missing a huge opportunity. They're so focused on all the bad stuff that might happen
Right.
that they're not even seeing the incredible good that could come out of it.
You know, I gotta say, at the beginning of this deep dive, I was a little worried myself.
Yeah.
But now, after hearing Kartik's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually feeling pretty optimistic.
That's great. That's what we want.
It's like a whole new way of looking at things.
It really is. Kartik reminds us that automation is just a tool.
Okay.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It all depends on who's using it.
So it's not about like robots versus humans.
Right.
It's about figuring out how we can use this technology to help us.
To make things better. Yeah.
Exactly. And Kartik seems to think that entrepreneurs are the key to all this.
Absolutely. They're the ones who are going to drive the innovation, create the new businesses, and they'll be the ones who figure out how to use automation in a way that benefits everybody.
Okay, so if you had to pick like one big takeaway
Yeah.
that you want our listeners to remember from this deep dive, what would it be?
Don't be scared of automation. Learn about it, understand it, and then find a way to make it work for you.
I like that.
You might just become the next Kartik, creating wealth and opportunities for yourself and for everyone around you.
That's awesome. It sounds like this is a call to action for all of us to become more entrepreneurial, to look for those opportunities that other people might be missing because they're so caught up in the fear.
Yeah, to look at things with fresh eyes.
So to everyone listening, take a look around at your own life, your own industry.
Yeah, what do you see?
Where are those hidden opportunities that automation is creating? How can you use it to solve a problem, create value, build a better future? The possibilities really are limitless.
That's the exciting part.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.